Viewers, welcome back in second session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the standards and guidelines for quality assurance in higher education. As you know, earlier we have learned about the quality enhancement division established at HEC, Pakistan, then quality assurance agency that was heading quality enhancement cells in the universities. We have learned about different stages of the introduction and incorporation of quality enhancement cells at the universities level, starting from 2006. So we have seen that in the first 1 year, 2006 to 2007, only 5 quality enhancement cells were established in 5 public sector universities. And afterwards, it was a family of quality enhancement cell was enhanced up to 10 more in public sector universities, then 5 and so on. So this process was carried out up to 2011, and almost across the country, public and private universities have been advised to establish the quality enhancement cells at the university level. The major purpose of this was to look after the unanimous efforts made for quality management and quality assurance at the universities level. Let me discuss with you in this session what standards and guidelines for quality assurance in higher education are prevailing in Pakistan. Here are the different standards. You may see the standard 1 is Policy for Quality Assurance Standard. The guidelines towards this standard are academic integrity, freedom, and vigilance against academic fraud. You know, it's very harsh word, the academic fraud, but it exists without any registration of the institution, through ghost institution, through ghost students, through ghost teachers. Some of the institutions were working and were awarding the degrees to the students. So that's why it was decided there should be academic integrity, freedom, and vigilance should be carried out by the agencies against any of the fraudulent efforts made by the different people at different stages and in different areas of the country. Guarding against tolerance of any kind of discrimination against the students or staff. No doubt, there were different practices prevailing across the country towards the intolerance and discrimination was there against the students and also against the staff. So in the light of this standard, under the umbrella of these guidelines, some unanimous decisions and formats were made equal for all as far as the students are concerned and as far as the faculty is concerned. No discrimination will be prevailing towards the induction of the teachers. Let me say there was some time that college teachers just having degree of MA were university faculty at deputation and were teaching the master classes, so much so MPhil too. But according to the standards, and the guidelines. HEC has established some certain criteria that the minimum level of entry level of qualification for the teachers in the university is MPhil in the relevant field. No master degree holder will be inducted as a teacher, and there is no discrimination on the basis of gender, on the basis of race, ethnicity, and many more. Accordingly, there were some discriminations towards the students' reduction as well. I would like to quote an example from one of my personal friend. He is visually impaired, totally visually impaired, but he took the hard line from the beginning, and he never attended any school of special education. He was used to go in any of the general school. He did high school from a general school with the normal students. Accordingly, he carried out his career, and finally he did masters in English linguistics from FC College. When he decided to take admission in MS leading to PhD in a university situated in Lahore, the university management refused him to take admission on the basis of his real impairity. He was deserted. He wrote a letter to the UNO chapter towards the human rights, where it is written that all of the human have the basic equal rights of education and health wherever they are in the world. No discrimination will be made on the basis of gender, on the basis of their health, or any type of the impairity. Believe me, the United Nations Human Rights Commission chairman forwarded that email with recommendation to President of Pakistan at that time, and President of Pakistan accordingly wrote to the university, and the university team, who was of the view to refuse him and asked him to go home and do some job, what you have to do with the PhD and with the higher education. You should not do this. They themselves called him, offered him admission, and wrote back to the President of Pakistan as well as Chairman, United Nations Basic Human Rights Commission. So to overcome likewise discriminations, HEC quality enhancement cells were working. Moreover, these standards were established not to discriminate on the basis of any discrimination towards the students and staff. The involvement of external stakeholders in quality assurance. External stakeholders are those stakeholders at the system of higher education that are doing themselves some sort of efforts, but they do not have any institution and the setup of the system. So they are invited to come forward and join the system. Standard 2, design and improve of program standards. Programs might be designed with overall program objectives that are in line with the institutional strategy and have explicit intended learning outcomes and are designed by involving students and other stakeholders in the work. This standard is very important and very core example can be given from the set of out of the set of public sector universities, the University of Education Lahore. If you go on the website of this university, you can see that in the vision and mission statement, there is written that it's mandatory for the University of Education to provide the academic leaders to the society. So whatever the program will run here, rather either it is pure sciences, management sciences, languages, teacher education, or any other, that is okay. But they must have be in line with their mission statement and their vision. So according to the vision, the provision of future academic leaders is the mandatory for this university. That is why all those programs being offered by the University of Education, other than teacher education, have been incorporated teacher education content. The basic and mandatory courses for teacher education, for teacher educators, have been incorporated in all type of the programs offered at University of Education level. Thus, they have become aligned with the vision of this university. Rather, they are IT graduates, physics, chemistry, math, languages, economics graduates. They become able to go for academic leadership, teacher educators. Likewise, all of the other universities, according to this standard and guidelines, have to design and approve the programs. Those are aligned with their vision. Standard 3, student-centered learning, teaching, and assessment standard. According to the guidelines towards this standard, respects and attending to the diversity of students and their needs, enabling flexible learning paths. From flexible learning paths mean the student should be at liberty to opt different courses at different levels. There should not be sort of compulsion all the way towards the selection of the courses. That's why after core courses, the students are on liberty to choose the courses according to their need, according to their uh, wish. Moreover, the flexibility of the learning paths is also deals with the opportunity for the students to join the program for which they do not have any basic qualification. At the moment, the students are only enrolled in the field for which they have the previous degree or the previous education. In the recent week, in this week, ongoing week, you have learned that there was a plan of the HEC to approve grant approval for the students. There is no need for any core course to be enrolled in any of the course at higher education level. For example, if somebody have done some commerce agriculture degree, he or she can be enrolled in the teacher education MPhil or PhD. But I think so, due to deficiency of the finances, it have been forgo for the time being, but it will be done. So across the globe, it is a practice to provide the flexible learning paths. Moreover, one of very interesting learning path, flexible learning path, have been provided to the students with effect from 2019 for the undergrad students at any program for BS. Students are eligible to quit after completing 4 semesters and will be awarded ADE, associate degree, and the students can enter at in 5th semester if they have these are the exit and entry points for the students. So this is the flexibility towards their learning paths. Considering and using different modes of delivery where appropriate. Flexibility using a variety of pedagogical methods. There is much flexibility for the teachers and the students at the university level, in the classroom, outside the classroom. Whatever the pedagogical method they want to use, they can. But till now, with some restrictions, it will be more flexible over the years. You will see they can use the lecture method. You can have some discussions, contribution, class participation, cooperation, and many more. Field trips, visits, term papers, take home assignments, take home exam, open book exam, so and so. Regularly evaluating and adjusting the modes of our delivery and pedagogical methods. Standard 4, student admission, progression, recognition, and certification standard. Providing conditions and support that are necessary for students to make progress in their academic career in the best interest of the individual student, programs, institutions, and the systems. So to boost the system and upgrade the programs of institutions, the individual students' interests have been recommended to be considered towards their academic career so as to make them much progressive, and they can progress in their field of interest. Standard 5, teaching staff standards. Transparent and fair process for staff recruitment and conditions of employment that recognize the importance of teaching, that offers opportunities for and promote the professional development of teaching staff. As I earlier discussed, that there is a minimum requirement at the entry level in the university for teachers to have a Master of Philosophy in the relevant field. Accordingly, at the different stages for the teachers of the university, there are certain decided criterion. They cannot be promoted on the basis of the years they have served. Their seniority doesn't matter in towards the promotion. They have to complete some certain years. Accordingly, their academic achievement and participation alongside their research experiences. Let me share with you, there are the different certain guidelines for the promotion of teacher in the university. They have these standards have been established by the HEC. For example, for any of the assistant professors to be promoted in as associate professor, it's mandatory for him to have served at least 10 years in total or 5 years after PhD in the relevant field as a teacher, along with at least 10 research publications. Moreover, supervision of MPhil teachers, MPhil students, and PhD students is also considered. Participation in the conferences, workshops, and served as an administrator and different sort of jobs also matters. Moreover, the recognition of their work at national and international level is also considered. Rather, they have earned some award, academic teaching award, or any type of other award in the field of research. Moreover, uh, their services towards the society are also recognized. Like, moreover, their projects they have conducted, they have completed, also have some grades. In a nutshell, all these things are evaluated at the time of promotion from assistant professors to the professors, and accordingly from associate professor to professor. All these things, in addition to some more, are considered. Standard 6, learning resources and student support standards. Guidelines toward this standard are providing a range of resources to assist students' learning. These vary from physical resources such as libraries, e-libraries, study facilities, and IT infrastructure, provision of gadgets and internet, to human support in the form of tutors, counselors, and other advisors. Standard 7, information management system. Guidelines for this standard are: managing reliable data is crucial for informed decision making and for knowing what is working well and what needs attention. Public information standards, providing information about the activities, including the programs offered and the selection criteria that intended learning outcomes of these programs, the qualifications, award, teaching learning assessment procedures used, the pass rates and learning opportunities available to the students as well as graduates, employment information. Standard 9, ongoing monitoring and periodic review of program standards. Guidelines towards this are the regular monitoring, review, and revision of study programs aim to ensure that uh, the provision remains appropriate and to create a supportive and effective learning environment for students. Standard 10, cyclical external quality assurance standards. This is very crucial at the moment towards the higher education quality. External quality assurance in its various forms can verify the effectiveness of institutions. Internal quality assurance act as a catalyst for improvement and offer institution a new perspectives. It will also provide information to assure the institution and the public of the quality of institution's activities. Here in this public information standard, and there are the some liabilities towards the universities to provide facility to the society, to serve the society, as medical universities offer free medical services to some of the areas, as University of Veterinary Sciences is providing different facility towards the animal care in the different areas. Agriculture University is providing facility to the farmers towards the agriculture objectives. Accordingly, University of Education is offering facility uh, to the society towards teaching their students at low cost rates. The example is that the University of Education is running almost 95 public schools. Those schools who are failure schools declared by the government of the Punjab, but at the time when university has uh, opted them, they are much successful schools. Their induction rate and admission rate has been raised up to 3 to 4 times, and their results are much fruitful. And that is also a field for our graduates to serve there as a training teachers, and they can practice their pedagogical skills as a field. So that was all about the standards, set standards by the quality standards and guidelines for quality assurance in higher education. Now, in the next session, we will study about the accreditation. It's the process of accreditation established by Higher Education Commission to accredit all of the programs before awarding degree. It the accreditation mean the declaration certificate from the Higher Education Commission to the university for that certain program, that is it's up to mark and according to the guidelines of the university of the HEC. So degree being offered for that program is recognized and uh, up to mark. We will discuss in detail in the next session about accreditation.